Good morning, welcome to Furry and Spoilt. I'm going to talk to you today about hotspots, dogs' hotspots and vaccines. One of you kindly messaged me and asked about it and reminded me. And yeah, I had completely forgotten to talk about it in my hotspot playlist. And it's a very important thing. I believe that the hotspots was what brought the first flare up on of Albert having his hotspots. So he had, when he was a tiny puppy, he had all of those injections. So the first two sets you have. Is it 4 weeks and 8 weeks? I can't remember now. It's so long since I've had a puppy. We did them and everything was fine. But as soon as we had the booster at 1 year old, that was when the hotspots all started. And so I haven't had any boosters since then on Albert. So Albert, the dog you're looking at now, he's the one who did have terrible hotspots. So bad they were going to put him down, but I stopped it all and everything. If you go to the playlist, go to hotspots, there's the whole video, there's videos and videos. You can hear my story on there. So he hasn't had any vaccine since. So he had the first one when he was tiny, so like 4 weeks and 8 weeks. And then he had a booster and that started all the hotspots. Now, I'm not saying the vaccine caused the hotspots, but I just think something in it ignited it. And so there hasn't been any booster vaccine since then. And then on my other dogs, we've got Harry that's around that corner. He, again, we had him when he was a puppy. We don't really know exactly how old he was, but I let them do the puppy vaccines again. So like, the first set that you have, that's fine. I think that's quite important to have that first set just to get the antibodies in the body and get all that sorted out. But I haven't done the boosters with him. Part of that is because he does have some Bichon Frise in him. But even if he didn't have the Bichon Frise in him, I still wouldn't do that booster jab with him because I don't think that it's necessary. Now, with Humps down here, we've only had him 7 months. We don't know how old he is. He came from Korea, from the dog meat trade. And so he, I don't know what vaccines he's had, but I haven't allowed for him to have any vaccines. Now, the thing is, you can have a thing called titer testing. It's TITRE, I think. And that basically goes in and has a look and sees whether or not your dog has any of the antibodies to defend it against the diseases that vaccines prevent. But again, I just don't think it's necessary. For the thing is with Albert here is he also, not only did he have the horrible time of hotspots, but he has learning difficulties. He has a kind of brain damage that means he has learning difficulties, and he's fine. He's the happiest little dog I've ever met, happy as anything. It doesn't cause him any problems day to day, but it would mean that there is no way they could just take blood from him, because to have the titer test, you have to take blood, and there's no way you couldn't do that with him. If anybody's wondering, he's just eating grass. We don't have any actual grass here, so I put grass seeds in the flower beds, and then they can eat it if they need to, but he's not. So to have the titer test, you have to have a blood test. That's fine if you've got a really good dog that would just sit nicely, but there's no way he would. So he gets very excited at the vet, and so there's no way he would do that. And so therefore we just decided that not to do the titer test. But as actually life has gone on, and do you not think it's disgusting how dogs scratch their ear and then sniff it and lick it? One of the many disgusting things dogs do. I think if you keep your dog healthy in all the different ways, you shouldn't need to have the titer testing. You should just know that your dog is in healthy, good condition. I think the thing is with this, I think with dog vaccines, it's such a personal thing, and I think everybody has such different opinions on vaccines. I personally feel that if you keep your dog healthy and well and fit and all of that, then you shouldn't need to have the dog vaccinated, and you shouldn't need the titer test to check whether or not you've got the vaccines. Even with Humps here, like I said, we don't know anything about his past really, apart from that he was in Korea. And we don't really know how old he is. But what I do know is that I've got him in fit, healthy condition. And with hot spots, I'm not going to go into it all now because it's all on the other videos if you've watched it. But nothing to do with hot spots. It's just one thing. It's such a lifestyle thing. So it's really about getting the grains out of their food, and being really aware that you do not put grains into their food, and the different kind of foods that you're feeding them, like beef, white fish, cause hot spots. If you go into the playlist and then go into hotspots, there is a whole load of videos in there, and I go into incredible detail about how to prevent hotspots from coming. I talk in a different one about if you actually have a hotspot now, how to actually to get rid of that hotspot now. But everything to do with hotspots is such a lifestyle, and it isn't something that you can just do and then when the hotspots are cleaned up, stop. It's a complete and utter lifestyle. You have to, and it isn't a case of starting it and stopping it and whatever. You have to do it all the time. So I don't change. So if you watch how to stop hotspot video, everything I've listed in there that you should do if your dog suffers a hotspot, I've never changed that. Ever since I did the research and found out what to do to stop the hotspots, I've never changed it. And Albert is walked away now, he's around the corner. But he's 10 now, nearly 10, and I've never ever changed anything. So his hotspot started when he was about a year old, and I've never changed anything of it. It's been constant the whole way through, and he has never had another hotspot or itchy skin. We've got a visitor down here. My tortoise is out. She's just come out of hibernation, and Humps has only just met her, and our tortoise is not too pleased about having another dog. And Humps, just be careful, sweetheart. Just mind out of the way. That's it. That's it. They are heavily supervised. They are not just left to it. They are heavily supervised to make sure that it's all okay. So, like I said, with this whole situation, it's very much a personal choice that you've got to make. If you put your dog into kennels, then you've got a whole different situation, because some of them request and I can see why they do it, because if your dog gets kennel cough and you put them into kennels, you are going to end up spreading that kennel cough all the way through all the other dogs. So I can see why they request it. But what they will take is most of them will take a titer test. If a titer test shows that they have got the antibodies to fight the kennel cough and they haven't got any of the other diseases, then they'll sometimes accept that instead of actual vaccine. But, you know, as far as I'm concerned, it's just another reason not to put your dogs into kennels, really, because if you don't, and if your dog is suffering with vaccines, if your dog is suffering with hotspots, I absolutely would not put them into kennels if it means that they have to have the vaccines, and the vaccines have caused the flare up in the hotspots. So, you know, obviously it's your dog, obviously it's your personal choice. I just always want to tell you my experience and what happened with me. But I would, you know, I'm not saying that without having that vaccine, the flare-ups or the hotspots wouldn't have happened. But I would be interested to know whether, you know, I do sometimes wonder, you just don't know, do you, if the flare-up wouldn't have happened if they hadn't had the vaccines. So, as always, can you please tell me your stories on this? I'm forever interested to know how you've got on and whether or not you think vaccines made your dog's hotspots worse. I really would. Or did your dog not have hotspots? You did the vaccine and then they had hotspots. Really, can you please, if you're ever wondering, should I, shouldn't I, please, will you comment? Because not only do I need to know, and it's important, you know, I need to hear different people's stories, but other people who are reading this, it's all a learning. Remember, this channel is simply about helping dogs. That's it. And if you've got a story that will help another dog, then please will you share it with us. I don't even know where Albert is. That's Harry. It's an absolutely beautiful day here today. So where are we now? We're just the beginning of April. It's a really beautiful sunny day. It's not as warm as it looks, so don't worry about my dogs having a sunbathe. It's actually quite cold. There's Humps. And I don't really know where Albert is. Oh, here he is. He's over here. Albert? There he is. He's our little Bichon, and he's the one who suffered with the hot spots. Here's the whole reason, really, for this channel, because his hot spots and everything. So that's us all done. So, do you want to look at my beautiful flowers? It's lovely in the spring in the UK. Gorgeous, gorgeous flowers everywhere. Lovely time of year. So as always, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a really great day. I hope your dogs are all well, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.